You ready?
I'm ready.
This is your spiritual podcast station, bringing you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. This is the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. We are live right now in the 1831 studio. My name is Natia Moore.
And I'm Anthony Fliggins.
And this is Pastor Anthony Said. Thanks, everyone, for joining this episode of Pastor Anthony Said. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you join us on Facebook, make sure you come on in the room now and share. Tell somebody that Pastor Anthony is on. Pastor Anthony Said
we ain't going nowhere. We back on.
Back on. Back
yeah,
on.
yeah. How about
Let me share myself here. Let's see. Make sure you share. How was your day?
My day was good. And yourself?
It was pretty good. It was a pretty smooth day. It was a little bumpy earlier. Chloe had my daughter had an allergic reaction to like fruit punch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did y'all
She
know
really
this?
doesn't. We knew that she had an allergy to Hawaiian punch.
Okay.
And we pretty much, she really doesn't drink juice, but at school they had the Capri Sun punch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess she wanted to have something sweet. And
She tried it.
she tried it.
Got
and
it, huh?
She got, yes.
Wow.
So like, she was saying it was weird because she said that she felt like her throat was closing.
Uh-huh.
And she felt like her chest was tight and she felt short of breath, which is, I don't like, the respiratory allergies are like more, in my opinion, more severe.
They are?
Obviously,
Why?
because they're more life threatening, like when they can cut off your airway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like if I have hives, I mean, I don't like the way I look, but I can breathe.
Right.
But if I can't breathe, like I'm getting more like into a threatening type of thing.
Yeah.
But she's fine. Everything's fine.
You took the patients first or something?
Took her to the urgent care. They didn't do anything. And that's the thing. It's kind of like, I kind of knew that. But anyway, I was at work, so I asked my mom to take her. But we wound up just giving her Benadryl. But the urgent cares basically don't do anything. Like if you're not like completely choking, like on the floor, passing out blue, they're not going to give you EpiPen or anything. So that's what happened. So she got a little nap, took a little Benadryl, went to sleep.
Good,
she feels good now, so that's good. That was
Do well,
strange.
Chloe. Do well, Chloe.
Yeah. She'll be all right. Yeah, but other than that, it was a smooth day.
Good.
It was a different Monday.
Meaning?
It was normally Mondays, especially at work, they seem to be really hectic. People just seem to be, even though a lot of them are coming in for the weekend, it's almost like they seem like they've been at work all week when they come in on Monday, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But today, everybody was kind of really laid back.
Okay.
Like nobody was hyper and just, it was no fires. Like everybody was just like, hey,
Right.
happy Monday.
Good, yeah.
Happy Monday. It was just like,
It's coming down off that full moon. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah, it must be.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Everybody coming down there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
be coming down there. It is what it is. Everybody can be smooth this week.
Okay,
So
great.
whoever y'all argued with last week, they will apologize this week.
Amen. Well,
They're gonna apologize. They're gonna say that wasn't me. I wasn't myself.
Right,
You're gonna hear a lot of that this week.
Okay.
I wasn't
yeah.
feeling myself when I said I'm sorry. You know, go ahead and take the apology,
Yeah,
y'all.
just take the apology.
You're gonna be okay.
It was the moon. Sheesh, that's
All
serious.
that attention is real.
Yeah.
It is real. I didn't think it was real until I started experiencing certain people, and we pay attention to people, and then you pay attention to seasons and times.
Yeah.
And you know it. You know. Then it's in scripture. You know,
Okay.
the sun should not spite me by day, nor the moon by night.
Okay.
And I always refer to that scripture like, now, how can the moon spite you? So we know sun, you get sunburn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the Bible says, so everybody, astrology is in your Bible.
Come on.
Y'all just not, y'all quote it all the time. But it's in Psalms 121.
Wow.
It says, the sun shall not spite me by day, nor the moon by night. Now, can a smart person or a preacher or a teacher preacher or somebody please put a quote, a text, send a call, do something. Let me know, how can the moon spite you or smite you? Whatever one. Now, we know how the sun can do it, because the sun gets sunburn. So David said, the sun shall not smite me by day, nor the moon by night. That's exactly what he said. So that there is something the moon can do to you. So I know you can't get moon burn. So how can the moon smite you? Yes.
It's got go.
It's the emotional.
It's the emotional. Yeah,
it's the emotional piece.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's right in your Bibles,
control.
and we act like it ain't real. We always acting like you know, Fliggins preaching something different. You know what I'm saying?
When in fact,
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's printed.
And this right here is 1,000 years before.
Wow.
Before Jesus.
Wow.
There you go, right there.
Wow.
1,000 years before Jesus.
Wow.
These things was already written in the making. You get what I'm saying? So when I'm preaching some BC stuff.
Yes.
This is nothing new, y'all.
Wow.
And we just don't have a clear understanding of what we're watching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What we're looking at and what we're dealing with and what we're reading. And we read past things all the time. And so we never really get to pay attention to what we're reading. So, my rule of thumb is read slow.
Okay.
That's always my rule of thumb, read slow. Read slow or read a lot. And if you're going to read a lot, read fast.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And the pieces that you'll pick up, you'll remember if you're constantly reading. Otherwise than that, take your time and read. Take your time and read. And so, yes. And if you do that, I think you'll find yourself, But the sun should not, Psalms 121. The sun should not smite me by day. Well, it says thee. Thee is me. By day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. The Lord shall preserve my soul.
Wow.
My going out, my coming in. This time forward, even forevermore. Always recite it. Don't know what we're saying.
Wow.
But welcome to Pastor Anthony said.
Welcome. If you got a question about that, you can go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah. Give us a call. If you got a question, the phone lines are open. Give us a call.
443.
Go ahead, y'all.
850-8626.
Go ahead and give us a call. Like, what does that really mean?
What does that really mean?
Yeah, so last week was a hectic week for a lot of people.
Yes.
This week is you're going to see everybody mellowing out.
Wow.
In fact, this week, it's going to be so mellow that people are going to anybody who tried to ratchet things up this week gonna mess up because it's not in the cycle of crazy.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're not in Crazyville anymore.
Right,
y'all.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
if you try to act like it, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be acting like that by yourself. And then this is what you're going to say. Why is nobody, you know what I'm saying, going in with me? Why am I the only one? I'm like, you the only one that's life of the party? Yes, because everybody has spent all that stuff and gave all that life and all that energy and that jubilant feel of whatever. Yeah, it's all gone. So this week going to be a cool week.
Okay.
It is what it is.
It makes
it is what it is.
So why, I don't know if we've ever talked about it. What is the, I guess, fear or misconception of astrology with the church, like in general? Like, I'm not saying that people should necessarily preach it and make it a part of it.
I think we get astrology mixed up with, let's deal with it. The church today was taught by the church yesterday. The church yesterday was taught by the church before then. So every church was taught by the previous church.
Okay.
So the church of yesterday were always taught not to question their leaders.
Okay.
That was the premier understanding of yesteryear church when it comes down to teachers and preachers. They don't question them. Whatever Rev say, that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. Whatever Rev do, that's what we gonna do. Your God gonna be my God. I'm gonna follow you as you follow Christ. That was sort of the metaphor right there. We didn't question. It's not till recent years we began to say, hold up, Rev, you got to fact check you. That wasn't a thing back when I was growing up. And I was born 1979.
Ooh, 1979. Yeah. Get it right.
So I was born 1979, yeah. And so I remember that. My father was a bishop. We didn't question him. My mother would say, whatever your father say, whatever Fliggins say. You don't question that. And that's how it was. And that's what they did. Now, if that being said, most of them really saw astrology as the horoscope. They connected that to the horoscope.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're reading your horoscope. Now, what's the horoscope, right? Your horoscope. The horoscope comes from Horus. Another word is from hero.
Okay.
And so your hero. So it's the scope your hero. So it's the scope your champion. So it's to look at your champion self. Okay. So it's to look at yourself. When you look at your horoscope, you try and find this daily thing of, you're going to be this. You're going to find a lover. You're going to find a mate. Today going to be a good day. Don't walk across the street. All these things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's to champion yourself through the eyes of the beyond. And so that's why they look at it. Of course, you don't pay it any attention. Why? Because the just shall live by faith. You're supposed to understand it, but you ain't supposed to live by it.
And that's the thing.
So now, what the old church said, hey, anything else that's not faith is pretty much worldly, ungodly.
Okay.
And so we call things worldly, but most of the things that we call deemed worldly was actually secular.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if it wasn't sacred, it wasn't necessary.
Okay.
If it wasn't sacred, it wasn't God. And now you got a world that's saying, wait a minute, we're both sacred and secular.
Okay.
And trying to find the balance is where we are today. And that's why you don't hear a lot of people talking about astrology. They don't talk about it because it was the thing was we not studying the stars, we don't study the sun, you don't study the moon. Well, I come to tell you, Rev, you're wrong. Any reverend, you're wrong. You do study it. You don't worship it.
Right, right.
You do study everything. You study it because it's in you and it is a part of you.
Yeah.
And you are a part of it. All the elements in the star is actually in us.
Yeah.
All the elements that makes up a star, that's actually in us. And that's what you was watching when you was watching The Lion King. When The Lion King, when he saw the stars, he said they the fathers, they the ancestors. Because everything that makes up a star, it's what it's in us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so so we don't pose to worship that stuff.
Right. That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
We're not guided by it. Even though the wise men were guided by a star.
Yeah.
I'm in Bible country.
They were.
We all right? And anybody else got something to say, you know your flag got stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's all over. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And so we don't understand it. What we do is we demonize what we don't understand.
Exactly.
So that's what it really is.
Wow.
And so when I come to preach it, and coming from the church I came from, and I'm talking about the church, some of the type of people that I preached, that I ministered to, and that ministered to me, they were the same. That's how I know how they think. They were the same ones saying, we don't follow that stuff.
Right.
We follow the Bible, and that's it.
Right.
That's it, the Bible. What they call it.
For me.
That's the book for me. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's what they called it. We made it up, y'all. It don't mean that either. So I'm going to get right there right now. So everybody, we made that up. Bible doesn't mean that either. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. We made that up. So it doesn't mean that either. And so we have to learn how to, get a clear understanding of what's going on so we can move forward. But that's what it is. So the sun will not smite me by day nor the moon by night. You get what I'm saying? So it's all in the Bible. That's why, and the reason why we don't do it, because we don't understand it. Now, but I'm a pastor, and I have to pay attention to people. Right. And I have to pay attention to the times and the seasons and the looks on people's faces. And when you get certain, and that's what I'm going to teach my church. See, in our church, what we do is we don't have Bible studies on December and January. Right. And the reason why I don't have Bible study on December and January is because I follow nature, just like I follow the spirit. And in nature hibernates. It rests. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. The leaves, the trees, they shed their leaves. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And these things happen during the winter. So during the winter months, like, you know what, we're not going to be rushing out here to Bible study. We will still have Sunday morning worship, but we will not be having Bible study. But during those times, I will allow myself enough time for us to sort of to gather the things that we dealt with during the year so we can get an understanding of how to move more efficient the next year. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
And so we got to learn some stuff about what's going on, what we're doing. So the winter is like moments of reflection. Okay. You get what I'm saying? We go back and reflect on what happened all year. That's what you do during the winter in order to sort of galvanize whatever you need and then carry it into the next season or to the next year. Right. And make sure that whatever what I want to say is the right way. Anything that you need to let go of and walk away from. Yes. And stop. Yes. You get what I'm saying? Yes. And pause from. Yes. We want to make sure that those things that we have removed ourselves from, we want to make sure that we don't pick them up again. Right. And we recognize those things the next year. That's what it's about. Okay. It's not about just gaining more. It's learning how to get rid of. Because if you keep piling on and piling on and piling on, you get what I'm saying? You get too heavy. Yes, yeah. So we have to know how to let some stuff go. Yes. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's about. So that's why I have these sort of classes and lectures during the winter months. Right. That's what it's about. Yeah. So they don't study that stuff, and I study it to a degree. Okay. I don't study it like live by it. I study
worship it, right? The thing is
I don't worship it.
right?
I study it like theory, like a theory. Once you get something from it, whatever you want, you keep. Whatever's no good, you let go of, and you keep it moving. Yeah.
And I think that's a great perspective, just to, first of all, just study everything, right? Just because I know so many things, like, for example, with astrology, like I would just, because I was kind of taught that, it has kind of a negative perspective.
Right.
Like I wouldn't even pay it any mind. Like I wouldn't even take the time to say, well, what actually is it?
Right.
Well, what is this and what is that? Or whatever the case may be, the things that I was just ignorant about, I just didn't even take any time to see what it exactly was. I just went over top of it and just went to the next thing. And so, yeah, that's not I don't want to do that no more.
And the old folk was always think that everybody gonna backslide. They always think somebody gonna backslide. They always think somebody gonna just
by being involved.
Yeah. Because people get involved in those things and they don't come back and they walk away from Christianity.
Oh, okay.
They walk away from the faith.
Okay.
There are some people who see these things, and I think so I have to give credit to the elders for doing that. They did the best they could. But one of the things they knew that there were a lot of people who were still a little fickle about this, aka the Christian faith, or they didn't understand this, and so they were searching.
Okay.
And so, the preacher man said, you know what?
Don't touch it.
Yeah. The accountability piece. And so since they said, hey, being held accountable, they didn't know what they did was they said, hey, don't touch those things that are worldly. Don't touch those things that are off. Don't touch those things that were wrong. Don't touch those things that, hey, just leave it alone. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't listen to no secular music. That's how I grew up. You don't watch no secular programs. No. I even known people that said we don't even go to the movies.
Oh.
And proms.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was heavy. When I grew up, it was like we just stay away from those things.
Yeah, but that won't work now. Like, you can't tell people just don't stay away from it. Like, you have to. To me, this generation is like hungry for that. Not that they want to go and leave their religion necessarily, but it's like important to completely educate on what it is and let them kind of make their choice. Like, if you've educated them enough on what this is and what that is, when they go out, if they want to research those things, it's not like, oh, you know what I mean? It kind of puts things to me into perspective because they're well-rounded and they ultimately have the choice anyway. Regardless if you say don't do it or not, they still.
Yeah, it only wouldn't work in this generation, in my opinion. It won't work in this generation is because you said because this generation is hungry for it.
I said because this generation
is hungry for more.
It needs information and knowledge, so they're going to go find it out.
So where did that appetite comes from?
The lack of somebody telling them that they can't.
I think the appetite comes from social media. I got everything at the palm of my hand. I really don't have to search for anything. It's looking for me. And so, because we didn't have that.
No, we did not.
We only had what they said. Now it's like your preacher say something on Sunday morning. You're getting like 20 other people,
right,
with knowledge in different areas.
It's more accessible.
It's right there.
It's more accessible.
It's in the
but
palm of your
I
hand.
don't think would you say that the past generation didn't have questions?
No, they had questions.
Yeah,
but they didn't have the answers.
Right?
They giving answers.
Yeah, they giving answers.
So now you're choosing which way you want to go.
If you're I don't know, just if you're given the information, like if you as my pastor,
right?
Like if you're providing me with, okay, this is what I'm interested in. I want to learn more about astrology. I understand Christianity to a certain extent, but I want you give me the full picture and then allow me to make ultimately the choice of what I want to do, instead of saying like, no, don't do this or don't look into that. Don't.
Now
restrict my.
That's a personal thing. I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong in doing that.
I think that's a great thing.
I mean, that's a thought.
It's definitely a thought.
It's a thought. But if I can criticize myself, if my job is to pastor people, and my job is to lead people towards Christ, and how did he lead people? And what did he do and what did he teach? And Jesus was a person who was hard bent on the kingdom of God.
For sure.
So much so that nothing else mattered. Then you look at the premier prophet after him, the premier apostle after him, which was Paul, hard bent on souls for Christ. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else mattered.
Okay.
Nothing else mattered. If we take that model and said, okay, I am going to trace my ministry based upon their ministries and what they did during that time, then no, you wouldn't do what I do. I do what I do is because I understand life is about a journey. And if life is about a journey, some of the things that people come to me about and some of the questions they have, I have to be able to answer those questions, because those times, many people couldn't read.
Right.
Today we can read, but don't know what to, because we got so much. So now, being at this place now, I have to answer the questions.
Exactly.
And so since I'm having to answer questions, I'm gonna have to have the knowledge.
Right.
And that's why I do what I do, just because
for the times.
For the times.
Exactly.
Just for the time. So
that's why I said that.
Go ahead.
That thought for how back then it was like, well, no, don't look at that. Just erase it from your mind. Basically, wouldn't work now because they are
the times.
Yeah, the times.
Not the people.
The times. I mean, the people are a part of the times.
Okay. But so, people are still the people.
Yeah, but they're still influenced by our time.
If you took away the time, would the people still do the same thing?
It's a possibility.
That's all I'm saying. We still who we are.
And we still gonna have questions.
We still got questions, but we still are led by. We are still led. We still, a lot of people, not everybody, but I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people are still follow the trend.
Oh yes,
they follow without studying.
A lot of people will.
That's what I mean. They follow what they like.
Absolutely.
They you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's kind of still the same. And they still, you know what I'm saying? Like anything they
But I think
go
now, if you're saying no questions, we're not answering that, wouldn't work. Like they just don't have to. There's so many other options. There's just so many. I don't know. I just think that it would be better to educate on what the question is than somebody go out and like try to find it on their own, get confused, and then completely just leave the faith. Like why not? Why wouldn't I just give you the information that I have?
Right, right.
So the questions ultimately is the questions. I mean,
that's the path I take. But I take that path because I believe. What I don't do is I don't look at other. I don't discredit the leadership of our elders and what they did, and I don't try to measure the times. I don't try to do that, and if I do it, I'm only doing it so we'll know the difference. And so it's what we would call in the sports world, a lot of people like to measure the basketball players or the football players of today versus the football players and basketball players of yesterday. And they try to say, hey, if Kobe Bryant was playing in the 80s, what would he do? And if Michael Jordan was playing today, what would he do? And if LeBron James was back in the day. And they try to bounce back and forward. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When truth be told, all those, if you ask the athlete, they all say the same thing. There's no way you can do it. And Michael Jordan said, you can't compare me to, a Dr. J. And LeBron James said, you can't compare me to a Michael Jordan.
Right.
A different era, a different day, a different game. Yeah. So all the athletes said it's unfair. Even Mike Tyson wouldn't compare himself to a Muhammad Ali. They just knew that the times were different. The weight of the gloves were different. The rounds they fought were different. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was so different that you just couldn't compare. You really couldn't compare.
Right.
And so when I do measure the old and the young, I try to be celebratory and I try to criticize both. I try to have that balance. So at least we know how to become better believers for another generation.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So
you got a couple comments.
I got some comments.
Yes, Apostle Thomas is on.
Oh, James Thomas.
Yes.
What did he say?
Bless you, Apostle. Very good point, Pastor, and you are right. The word says, in all thy getting, get an understanding. There was and still exists a traditional mindset that was preached from a human perspective and not the understanding of revelation knowledge. I had to study it and understand its application both spiritually and naturally.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's James Thomas.
Yes.
Yes. He's Apostle James Thomas is actually he's one of my fathers. He's one of the ones I was talking about from but I think he's transitioned a little bit, and he is able to speak the language of today, but still got yesterday's voice.
Right.
So he still got, you know what I'm saying? You can still hear him, but he sound like one of the ones that come from back in the day. Like, yeah, you better straighten up when you talk to me. Say, yes, sir. He's one of the ones.
Yes, sir.
So that's what he is. Bless you, sir. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've learned to do over and over again. But I just believe that life is about the journey, and I do. And so when somebody comes to me with these questions, I think the first time I started was actually my son, Justice. Justice is my second born, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Justice. This is the first question Justice asked me. Justice says, do we follow Jesus? He's like 4.
Okay.
Maybe 4 or 5. This Justice. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's 6 yet. I don't think he's quite 6, but this is the first time I heard it. He asked me 2 questions, actually.
Okay.
And this comes off a Bible study now. Here's the first question Justice asked me at about 5 or 6 years old. He said, Daddy. I said, what? He said, is Abraham a Jew? I said, yeah. He said, was David Jews? I said, yeah. He said, was Jesus a Jew? I said, yeah. He said, are we Jews? I said, no. He said, then why do we follow him?
Come on, Justice.
6.
How old? 6.
6.
Interesting. Wow.
6.
Remarkable.
He ran them down. It's Abraham, David, Jesus. Are we Jews? I said, nah. He said, then why do we follow him? I said, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
For a 6-year-old.
For a 6-year-old.
Next question he asked me is at 6. So he's coming to my Bible studies, of course.
Yeah.
And this is when I was going through. So they were my only students.
Okay.
So y'all people don't know this. But I went through a divorce. Mm-hmm. When I went through a divorce, we was actually my first year pastoring. Mm-hmm. I went through a divorce after my first year pastoring. And so a lot of our members and our service was at 3 o'clock. So a lot of y'all who got churches at 3 and 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of the pioneers of that. I was doing it before the pandemic. I was doing it 12, 13 years ago. And so we had called it the 9th hour gathering because 3 p.m., according in the Roman calendar, or Jewish calendar, I believe, was what's called it the 9th hour.
Okay.
And so we would call it the 9th hour gathering, bartering the scripture. Mm-hmm. And service at 3 o'clock. So since service at 3 o'clock and we're going through all these things, a lot of people that I preached to were not my members.
Okay.
They were members of other churches.
Okay.
So my house was full of a fellowship of other members that belonged to other churches. And I never tried to take somebody's members. I ain't never want to do that. So you know what I'm saying? I try to do my best to preach a gospel that we can all adhere to.
Right.
I stayed out of denominational teaching. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Get baptized this way or you know what I'm saying? Do like this and no other way but that. I stayed out of that stuff. And I stayed out of it. And that led me to preach to someone who come from an AME church, apostolic, Church of God in Christ, Baptist, all of them just come to my church. And a few of them still in my church. Right. A few of the members are members right now. You get what I'm saying?
Still in it, yeah.
They are pioneers of this church. And all of them come from different denominational backgrounds. It caused me to preach a gospel in a different way. I had to preach, quote unquote, a universal gospel.
Okay.
A gospel that could fit everybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Hence, all I did was preach the core, which was Jesus. And if you preach the core of the message, you wouldn't have to worry about the branches and anything else like that. Mm-hmm. The branches and the fruits and all that stuff, but the root was Jesus. Okay, so we got that, right?
Got it.
My Bible studies was just, at that moment, people start leaving the church a little bit. Things started happening. During the same time, yes, man. My life felt like it fell apart. I'm serious. The only people who was in my actual classes was Anthony, Justice, and this young guy named Daquan. Mm-hmm. I had 3 people in my Bible studies teaching the way I teach.
Wow. And
they were the only ones. And guess what I would do? I would teach them. And I would teach like I teach here today. I would, Jesus wept, let's pray.
Right.
Love y'all. Look at the door, see who's walking in. No, we are teaching. Open your Bibles.
Yeah.
And man, I taught. So but from this teaching, these are the questions that Justice. Here's the next week. He said, Dad, what's up?
What was the response? What did you respond?
I don't even know. I think I was stuck and that led me to study more.
Okay.
I don't even remember. I remember the question. And because I remember the question, because I remember the next question from the next week.
Okay.
Here's the next question. I said, Dad, what? David. Back to David again. He said, David got hit in his head with a rock. He said, yeah. Goliath got hit in his head with a rock. I said, yes. He said, David used a slingshot. He said, yeah. He said, so I have a question. He said, if the rock hit him in his head, why didn't he fall backwards? Why did he fall forward? And that's what he said. Questions that I just never really bothered asking.
Wow.
He said, but if he got hit in his head, why didn't he fall back? Why did he fall forward?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have no degree and no, the physical aspect of how things move and all. I don't have it. I just looked at him and I didn't know I didn't know how to answer. You know, I was amazed over the fact that he was paying attention.
Yeah, 6.
He was attentive.
Right.
So my question is, if he was doing it at 6, what would we do at 12?
Right, exactly.
And 14.
Interesting.
And now he's 17.
Yeah.
And I got to start studying more.
Yeah.
I got to get out of amen and hallelujah and God going to do it and ain't he all right?
Justice was the push.
Justice was one of them.
One of the pushes.
Yes,
wow.
Justice was one of them. It made me say, okay, I got to go a little bit further than the surface.
Okay.
And I remember that clear. I remember that because I was saying, if he's asking that question at 6, because I remember telling my mother, the question he's asking, like, boy, and my mother said, that's how you were.
Wow. Okay.
My mother said, that's how you were. And so that inquisitive mind that he has. And so I wanted to put myself in a position where I could answer the hard questions. Yeah. Now I'm saying, hey, ask me anything. Just ask me.
How did you prepare for that? Like how did that change your studying? Is it like how did you mold for those kind of questions? Like if you have your study, like what you're studying, if you're studying Goliath or whatever you're studying, whatever you're studying, like how do you then I guess prepare your mind for all of those broad random questions that sometimes we don't think about? You just start randomly asking yourself every little thing about it.
Okay,
like how do you prepare for that?
So when you are studying, studious, being a student, when you're doing those things, okay. Let's just get into the study habits. Let's just get into this real quick. When you are doing those things and you are asking questions, what you are doing is what you should be doing is you should be looking at the Bible with a critical, aided, respectful eye.
Okay.
So you're not looking at it to defend what you've been taught.
Okay.
You're not looking at the Bible to defend what you have been taught. You're looking at it to find the things you don't know.
Okay.
Most people look at the Bible and they look at it to defend what they already know.
Okay.
Or what they think they know. Or what they've been taught. Oh, aha, it's right there. Okay. I'm good. Like, no. What is it that I don't know? What am I looking for?
Okay.
What am I searching for? And sometimes I don't even know what I'm searching for, but I'm searching.
Right, okay.
And I'm constantly searching and constantly searching. So I'm looking for the things that I do not know, saying, why is that there? Why is it here? Why is this missing? Why is it? Why? You know, why do we follow Jesus when we're not Jews? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What's that about? And then that leads into the understanding of the Gentile being grafted in to the faith. Okay. Now you get to understand Paul's gospel, and you understand that why Luke wrote the way he wrote. And you get to understand, see, so those questions right there lead you to so many different avenues and areas. And if you're constantly feeding and filling yourself from it, then you got it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I do the scriptures.
Okay.
Yeah.
It becomes like an advanced search.
Yes.
Like
and it just keep on going.
Keeps going.
It just keeps going. It just keeps going. And then if you say something stupid, you're going to find yourself in front of somebody that's smart.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to hear you say something smart in your stupidity and said, hold up. You're doing the right thing, but you're doing it the wrong way.
Wrong way.
So, you know what I'm saying? You're doing the good thing. You're just doing it the wrong way. So I got to show you how to do this.
Okay.
So you'll keep on searching, and then you'll find those people saying, okay, and then at that moment, what we do is, again, because we're so hard bent on what we've discovered, we'll stand up and say, you know what, this is what I know. And then you will miss what the elders are trying to tell you. And the truth is, you only need one piece. So you got to learn how to respect that. So every time I was beside myself, God always sent me somebody who was a little bit smarter than me. Thank God for my father. Thank God for my mother. Thank God for those situations where I was able to say, hold up. Let me just listen to what they're saying.
Right.
And I listened to it and don't need all of it.
Right.
But the peace I needed, my humility allowed me to stay there long enough to get what I needed. So that's what it is right there. Yeah. So don't act like y'all bigger than just because you found something out.
Definitely.
Yeah, you still don't know it. Paul said, for the man who think he knows anything, he said he knows nothing at all. And so that's real talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
So we just still learning. So that's where we are.
That's good.
Yep. So
Very good information.
Yeah. So I study all that stuff, y'all.
That's good. Justice. Okay.
I study all that stuff.
6 years old.
Six. I study all of that stuff.
Were you surprised when he asked? Like, were you?
Oh man!
Did you already know?
No, because he don't say nothing. Justice quiet.
Oh, so this was like his. He really.
Yeah, Justice real quiet. Justice come up and say something real slick. You know what I'm saying? So Justice kind of kid that keep everything in.
Okay.
You kind of got to pull it out of him. But if you ask him, he'll tell you.
Right.
But he ain't gonna volunteer the information.
Volunteer, right.
Yeah, like one day I asked him, like, what kind of style you have? What kind of person are you? Just trying to see, like, if you had money, if you had $1,000, what you at? And he just starts showing me all these outfits and clothes that he put together on this. He said, yeah, this the car we're driving. This I would this. I said, he got all that locked in.
Right.
All of that. It's just his.
Right.
So if you don't ask him,
he's not telling you.
He's not telling you. So yeah, that's the kind of kid he is.
Okay, Just.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All
so
right, Justice.
That's what it is. What it is.
Beautiful.
So So that's why I do what I do.
Okay.
Good.
Noted.
That's what. Yeah. And then you'll start reading the Bible. And as you start reading, you'll start reading the origin of the scriptures and the Bible and how it was put together and who put it together and who was King James and who was these people.
Yeah.
And why do we have the King James version? So we don't have the original Bible. We have the version of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then who was King James? You know what I'm saying? Then what happened in the 1400s?
Right.
And then then you start again and again, and it's an ongoing thing. It's just an ongoing thing.
And what percentage of people would you say actually do that type of studying, like as a whole in the ministry? Like, if you had to make an estimate, what percentage would you say actually devote that kind of study, or do you have that technique with studying where they go beyond some of the, I guess, the norms of just stopping at this particular verse? And like, again,
I have to be critical, and I have to be both. I have to be critical, and then I have to also, I guess the other word I'm gonna use is to be celebratory. I have to celebrate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I have to be on the side of those that do it, as to why they do it and why they don't.
Okay.
Both sides. Cool?
That's fine.
All right. I'm not sure what percentage of people can do it because it takes so much time to do. And as an adult, if you're a responsible person, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to, it's work. You're working.
Yeah.
You're building. You're developing. You're grinding. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after all that, how much time can you devote into this? So if you're talking to that person, if that person is, in my opinion, that's in Baltimore City where the median income is in the 50s. Well, the median income for a family is in about the 50s and 60s in Baltimore. That's what family, the median income in Baltimore, in Baltimore City. So if you're looking at that type of person, you got to ask yourself the question, what 20-year-old, 30-year-old actually have time to commit to that? You get what I'm saying? And still work.
Okay.
I
mean,
that's why.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I said the percentage is low. Not because they don't want to, as because they don't have the time to.
If they had the time, would they?
If they had the time, I believe they would.
Okay.
I believe if more of our pastors were, it's Pastors Appreciation Month.
It is.
Clergy Appreciation Month.
Come on, let's
Clergy Appreciation Month.
Somebody put in the comments.
If more pastors were not bivocational, they would be better teachers.
Okay. Okay.
But we have to work. You get what I'm saying? We have to work. We have to go to work. We have to put that 9 to 5 in. Got a family, got children. Same thing. We got regular lives.
Yeah.
A lot of them got regular lives. So I think 80% of all pastors are bivocational.
Wow.
That means that they pastor and have a regular 9 to 5 or whatever they're doing.
Wow. 80%.
About 80%, maybe a little bit higher. So it's only about less than 20% of the pastors are actually what you'll call, quote unquote, a full-time pastor. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So how much time do you have to dedicate to that? So you don't have the kind of time to dedicate to it.
Right.
How did I do it? Well, I can give you my secret.
Okay, let's go.
All right. It's not a secret. It's not a secret, y'all. It's not a secret. But let's put a model together for a young minister.
Okay.
Young minister growing up, right? Young minister growing up. Let's young minister, male or female growing up. What's the secret? What's the sacred? What's the part? What's the tool? How do we do it, right? How do you get up to the place where you can be in your 20s and your 30s and have that time to study, or pastor and have the time to continue to develop and move forward in doing? Now we're in Baltimore City. Got it? So I'm not talking about nationwide. I'm just talking about my city. Take the piece that you got to do and move on.
Yeah.
The first thing pastor needs to do, number one, is to develop a simple lifestyle.
Okay.
If you are a new pastor, stay off of Gucci websites. Ooh. Stay off of
Gucci, Fendi, Prada. How does that song go?
Stay off of Gucci. Pastors, I'm telling you right now, no, and I'm not saying, well, people, he don't want me to look good. No, let's stop.
He don't want me to look good.
Let's stop. Stay off of all expensive designer. Thank you. Help me. Websites.
Okay.
Stay off of them. Get them off your phone. Do not download the app. Stay off of Affirm. And what else? What else does this thing called? Afterpay.
Afterpay. Okay.
Yeah, Shoplift or Shop Love. Shop whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever that is, stay off of all. If you are a young minister and you want to devote that time, I'm telling you how to do it.
Okay.
Stay off of those things.
Yeah.
Stay off that stuff. When you buy my clothes, we're going to start with the simple thing with clothes.
Okay.
When you buy clothes that match with other clothes. Mm-hmm. Never buy pieces that you can wear one time.
Yeah.
Buy clothes that you can match with, that you can wear with other garments.
Yes.
Buy clothes that you can mix and match.
Yeah. And
you're like, Pastor, what does this got to do with it? Listen to what I'm saying. This keep you off the websites. This also keeps you from making moves that you don't have to make in order to keep up with.
Right.
Everybody got that?
Right.
Good. If you're in Baltimore City, buy a decent SUV. The best cars are foreign cars. The best SUVs are American made. Note. If you want to buy SUV and you balling on a budget, get off of that BMW. Get off of that Mercedes SUV. Mm-hmm. You're looking at that. Get off of it.
Right.
Get off of it. Get off of. Well, let me get off of that stuff. Just get off of it.
Just get off.
Just get off. I was gonna say something different. Get off of it, because you're asking me how. So I have to give you the steps. Just these small things that you don't think about. Let me tell you how to do it, real quick. Get off that stuff. If you're gonna buy a car, you're looking for a car. Mm-hmm. Simplify your life. Get a simple American-made SUV, Ford Explorer. Okay. They last forever.
Okay.
Chevy Traverse, they last forever. You hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These cars last forever.
Okay.
You can some of these cars from Ford and everything else, and when they break down, because they will break down, they are simple to fix.
Right. Okay.
The brakes,
very available.
The batteries. Mm-hmm. What else? Alternators.
Okay.
Changing tires, rotors, radios. All these things are simple. Okay. What they don't tell you about BMW and Jaguar and all these things, what they don't tell you about those things is once those things are foreign cars, right? Everybody, this is what I'm about to say. All those foreign cars, when they ship them over to America, they go through a certain kind of, test, and they have to go through certain requirements, AKA what's required for a BMW in Germany. Those same requirements and those same standards do not fit the American road or the American air or the American whatever it is. It doesn't fit. So what they do is they oftentimes, in your Jaguar, they will take the engine out of a Jaguar and put a cheaper engine in your Jaguar. So anybody who got a Jaguar, I'm sorry to tell you, you do not have a Jaguar engine.
Wow.
Because the Jaguar engine is not legal in America.
Is that why they be breaking down so much?
I don't know why they breaking down. A Jaguar An original, do your math, everybody. Again, this is the studies. An original Jaguar engine is not legal in America. There are some things that is legal in Germany. They are legal over there in Europe.
Right.
That does not fit the standards and requirements of America.
Right.
And America over there, vice versa.
Okay.
So what they have to do? They have to meet their standards. So what do? They take those foreign parts off. And so you're not getting, so if you go over there to, you know what I'm saying? You go over there to Paris or France or Germany and rent a Jaguar, you're going to get a different feel.
Oh, wow.
You're not getting the same feel you get here. Here, you're going to get something that can handle this American road, these American.
Right,
Over there, you're going to get something that can handle that.
Right.
So stop looking at that, y'all, because you really ain't getting it.
Okay.
Got it?
Noted.
Simplify your life.
Yeah.
Simplify your
Simplify.
life. If you're a man, get one woman.
You hear that, man?
If you're a man, get one woman. And get the woman who can understand your crazy side.
Good advice.
Pastors, ministers, get one woman.
Yeah.
Stop trying. No, just get one. Even if you don't stay with that one. Don't have 7.
Right, no.
And then you're trying to balance all that stuff.
Yeah.
Get one woman. I'm not even talking about marriage right now. I'm just talking about manhood.
One.
And women too, get a man, but just get one.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with one.
Stick with one.
And be serious. Be serious about life.
Yeah.
Simplify. I'm not talking about moving in. I'm not talking about sinning. I'm not talking about fornicating. I'm not talking about shacking up. That's where y'all mind's at.
Right.
So that's where your mind stay. But don't put your brain in my mouth. Don't put your thoughts in my mouth. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about having ability to just simplify your life.
Right.
Simplify life.
Understood.
Got it.
Yes.
Clothes, car, one significant other.
Yes.
Got it?
Yep.
All right. Here it is. Find work that matches your temperament.
Nice. Okay.
Find a job that matches your temperament. Find a job that matches your temperament.
For example?
If you like to travel, do not be a librarian.
Right. Okay.
I don't care how much I don't care how much money you make. Find a job that matches your temperament.
Okay.
Every pastor, young pastor, you're starting a church, find a job if you're going to get a job. If you're in school, find work. I said job, but I really mean work.
Right.
Find work that matches your temperament. A lot of people get work that doesn't match their temperament. So what they do is they get in something that's not in them.
Right.
Just for the money. The frustration, the attitude, the ugly disposition, the fact that you're going into something and you don't feel like going there, and the ups and downs of life. All I'm trying to tell y'all to do is simplify your secular life so that you can put time into your sacred world. Everything I'm telling y'all to do right now is what I did.
Okay.
I did not move outside of, you know what I didn't do?
What?
I stayed in construction because that matched my temperament.
Okay.
Just because I was a minister doesn't mean I could just go out there and sell insurance, because I can stay dressed up all day long and look like I was important. I'm not a salesman. I don't sell anything. I can't sell nothing. Okay. I'm not a salesman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And people look at me like, man, you can sell insurance. So I tried to do Primerica. I tried to, you hear what I said? Y'all talking about try to do Primerica. I tried to sell, one day I tried to sell security systems.
Wow.
I called this old pastor and said, hey, mama, you got a church? I want to sell it. I'm Pastor Flick and I'm selling security systems. She said, I don't need no security, son. I got Jesus. Pick up. My whole spirit dropped. That was the last security call I made. And the guy was like, nah, man, you got to be willing to hear a no.
Yeah, because it's a lot of no's.
I heard, yes, a lot of no's. And I don't feel like that.
Yeah,
it's not my temperament.
It's not your temperament, no.
I just not.
Some people can,
hey, tell them no. All right, thank you. You refer me to 10 other people?
Right.
I'm not.
Just like you. Let's want to say yes.
So, no.
Wow.
Find work that match your temperament.
Okay.
Period. Just your temperament. This is the kind of person I am. This is the kind of work I'm looking for.
Okay.
All that. Oh, it keeps on going.
Okay.
All right. Here's it keeps on going. You have to find a house. If you find a house as an adult, you find a house, you ain't bunking with nobody, aka you ain't living with mom. I'm talking to the young man and the young woman, auntie, uncle, whatever like that. Find a fixer-upper. Find young man, young woman, find a fixer-upper. Find something that you can live in that needs some work done to it, that you can work on it while you're in it.
Oh. Okay. Now, why would you want to do that?
Because the mortgage and the rent is low.
Okay.
Because right now, these young ministers right now, the reason why they can't thrive in their churches is because their mortgage is twice as high as their church rent.
Okay.
And that's why they can't afford a music ministry. They can't afford music. They can't afford to hire nobody. They can't afford it.
Right.
They can't afford it. Everything that comes in going into your living expenses. So if to the young minister that want to thrive, this is how you do. You have to make sure that you simplify your secular life, your regular everyday life. Stop trying to meet up with the Joneses. Stop trying to be the next Jamal Bryant. Jamal daddy was a well-to-do man. AME, Bishop, they had it going on. Lived down there in the Mount Royal area.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? All right, let's be honest right now.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, your folk. Never mind. All right, let me keep on going.
This is good.
We all right, everybody?
Yeah.
You know.
So stop buying designers.
Go ahead.
SUV, a simple
Get an
truck.
SUV, American.
American SUV.
Yes, don't get no car. Don't get an American-made car.
Don't get an American-made car.
It ain't worth nothing.
It's not worth nothing, but an SUV.
SUV. Yes, you need something that can handle the summer and the winter.
Yes.
Keep on going.
One significant other.
One.
Find a house, which should be a fixer-upper.
Fixer-upper.
And just simplifying your everyday life.
And find work that matches your temperament.
Right, that's right. I missed that one. Find work that matches your temperament.
I'm talking to, who am I talking to? I am talking to the minister who wants to find time to jump into their studies.
Yeah.
I mean, to find time to say, you know what, I want to know the word, not like Fliggins, but you want to know the word like you want to know the word to have the time to study.
Yeah, like you. Like whoever you are.
Anyway.
Not you. I'm saying like whoever that person
amen,
is.
Thank you. Yep. So this is how I did it.
Okay.
I moved into a fixer-upper. In fact, my first house was about $21,000. My first house, I bought my first house number 21.
Is that
$21,000? No. I was 21. No, it wasn't 1900s.
So it was like
yeah. It was in 2000 something. So I bought my first house when I bought my first house. I bought my first house. I didn't say rent. I was an owner when I was 21.
That's serious.
I was a 21-year-old owner. Yes. And guess how much the house was?
How much?
$21,000. That's it.
That's
a fixer-upper.
21 years old.
Yes. And guess what? You ready for this? I was living with my father and mother.
Okay.
I was living with my father and my mother. I had a room. I was in the back room.
Wow.
And I walked home with a contract in my hand, a mortgage in my hand. Like, yes. $21,000. So back in the day, $21,000, the mortgage was only like $200 a month.
Wow.
$236.
Ooh.
That was it.
Wow.
So I had $236.
Wow.
That was my first mortgage.
Wow.
$236 a month. You can do Uber and pay for that.
Yes. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So right now, so let's just, with inflation, you can find the same kind of property right now for about $40,000, $50,000. Right now.
Okay.
I'm in Baltimore City talking this stuff. Okay. And then it may need something. You may need to improve the kitchen. The bathroom will be outdated. The basement will have a leak. There will be a leak in the back. The porch will be falling. The back porch will be falling. The vinyl siding will coming off, and a couple windows will have cracks in them. Let's just be honest. This is what's going to happen.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Fixer-upper.
This is a fixer-upper. You're going to have some things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to have some things in this property that's just not going to be to your standards. Take your time, do some DIY, and find your family, find your friends. You're going to need some community. Say, hey, find your uncle that knows how to fix stuff up. Get the neighborhood guy that knows how to do it. Use your wares. You already minister. People like working for preachers. They feel like they're doing a favor for God. I'm giving them game.
You take notes.
I'm giving you game. People, you know how many people said, I'll do stuff for you just I heard one day a man said to me, he cleaned, I had all this trash in my back of my house. Huge, because we was cleaning out the property. And he said, I'll pick the trash up for you. I said, thanks. He said, what are you out here doing? I said, I'm blah, 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 blah. What are you? He started talking, I'm a minister. He said, wow. He said, okay. Well, he said, I'll give you a good price. Wow. I said, go ahead and take it. I didn't know the price. He loaded his truck up. And guess what he said to me? Pray for me.
Wow. Isn't that, wow. That's something.
I said, you didn't get paid? He said, I just want to hear somebody pray for me.
Wow. Wow. I guess for some people, you're the close, like that's not
because some people don't even have that relationship.
Right.
And they just want to hear somebody. Yeah. And I prayed for him right there. He said, thank you. And he drove off.
Wow. To God be glory.
So now, of course, you're not keeping up with the Joneses. You ain't inviting everybody over your house. You're not doing those things. And then, so what's in your house at this moment? Because I'm not even talking about the people who, I'm even talking to people who can afford to live a certain way.
Right.
I'm even talking to you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think I'm just talking to people that's broke.
Yeah.
I'm talking to people who can afford a certain lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah.
Simplify that. Just because you can afford it, that's all I'm trying to say. Just because you can afford it doesn't mean that you should go out, because you'll find yourself, trust me, you'll find yourself at a place where you're going to get frustrated. And you're going to find yourself behind the goal line. You're going to be behind trying to cross that and never cross over.
Yeah.
Because you were doing so much trying to keep up. Stop trying to keep up. And listen to you know what I'm saying? Some people say, well, I just want to go to school. I'll just go to school and do it online and stuff like that. I ain't talking to you.
Right.
I'm not talking
Even
to
if you want to do that, like it's still demands.
It's cool.
Like,
I'm just not talking to that person. I'm talking to the person who said, I'm going beyond this.
Okay.
Because when you go to school, you do what you got to do to get your grade. That's why, in American studies, you study to the grade. I'm studying to get the grade. And most people right now, once they get their grade, they stop studying.
Yeah, true.
Once they get that B, that's it. That C plus, that's it.
See your way out.
So when they see their way out, you don't see them picking up another book anymore. As long as they got that piece of paper saying, I've been to this school,
right?
They good. But but their level of knowledge isn't to the degree, you get what I'm saying, that it should be, given the fact that they did go to school.
Exactly.
Like, you went to school and you don't know this? Like, nah, they ain't teach us that. Nah, they did teach you. You didn't study that.
Right.
You just went and got the grade and kept going. You left it right there. And that's it. So now you got to develop a life that is sort of simple.
Dedicated to you.
And then once you get that simple life, you get a place. One room got to be dedicated to your studies. I mean, in the house. So let's go back to the house thing.
Okay.
So one room got to be fixed up. One room has to be like a mini library.
Yeah. Good.
One of those rooms have to be a library. One of those rooms got to have nothing but books and a desk. A laptop. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
There's no TV in this room. There's no TV in my office. I have an office in the church.
Yeah.
There is no TV in my office. Your office should not have a television in it. No TV in the office. So now you got a place, you got all these books, you're buying books, you're getting information, you're getting knowledge, you're getting teaching. And that's all you have. That's one room. That's your main room right there.
Yeah.
Not your bedroom. That room.
Yeah.
That is your sanctuary.
That's your sanctuary.
That's your sanctuary. Now, what does this mean? When you got a house that's a fixer-upper, you ain't pressed with clothes, you ain't trying to meet up with the Joneses, you only got one significant other, you got an SUV, what does this mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means when it's 10 degrees outside and nobody's around and you don't feel like moving, you can stay your you-know-what in the house. This means you don't have to host 18 revivals unnecessarily.
Right.
To make up the mortgage, make up for your big mortgage.
Right.
And pay for your nice car.
Yeah.
This means you don't have to beg for money. This means you don't have to be stressed when the money don't come in from the church.
Yeah.
This means that when people don't come to church on that snow day, y'all still good. Mm-hmm. And when the people don't give because the internet starting acting up and stuff like that, you okay.
Yeah.
This means every Monday you can breathe.
Yes.
That's what this means.
That's what it means.
The stuff I'm talking about right now, Tia, is foreign to most pastors.
Wow.
That's what this means.
Mm.
That's what this means.
Wow.
This means that you can do a couple of things during the month just to take care of your creature comforts without exhausting all of your energy.
Exactly.
Just trying to live.
Mm.
Now my life can be about service.
Wow. It's beautiful.
That's how you do it.
Okay.
So now I'm keeping my rent and my mortgage at a minimum. My car at a minimum. I ain't out there trying to show off with my clothes. I only got one significant other, so I ain't trying to show off with anybody else. Mm-hmm. He or she loves me the way they love me, and I love them the way I love them, or we just love each other's presence and company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got these things lined up. And why? Because I want to spend the next 5 years studying.
Right.
That's why.
Mm.
I want to spend the next 5 years trying to figure this out. Mm-hmm. That's why you do it.
Wow.
This is a real 5-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that happens,
exactly.
Oh my God, the stuff that you get. So that's how you do it, Tia. AKA simplify your lives. And your lives are not simple. It's just too complicated. Mm-hmm. So to the preacher, till you ask me how many preachers would, I don't know. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. But this is how I did it.
Okay. Excellent.
This is how I did it.
Excellent.
So all those times when I was in my late 20s and early 30s and trying to figure this thing out and trying to get myself together, my home life was simple. Mm-hmm. So when so we talk about a pastor's complicated life, right? Uh-huh. Well, if home life is complicated, and then the church world is complicated, right? Jesus wept, David knocked down Goliath. Ain't he all right, and won't he do it? Say yes, get you some theatrics, and we getting out of here. Because I don't have any time to fill my life with something else. Mm. And please do not think you're going to get in a 3-day conference down in Florida. Right. Or Georgia. New Mexico. Oh. California. Detroit. Wherever they have those conferences at. Mm-hmm. You get a 3-day conference, you still don't have the time.
Right.
You get back home, and guess what happens? You back into it again. You didn't pay $6,000 just to find out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That Adam had more than 2 sons. That Adam actually had daughters.
That's hilarious.
All that just to find out.
Yeah.
That Adam actually had more than 2 sons. But if you would have read it yourself, man.
Yeah. In your office, in your
place, and with your team.
Come on.
That's it.
Would have changed the whole
world. That changed the whole world. Adam had more than 2 sons, y'all. Adam and Cain and Abel. No, he had more than 3. Adam had sons and daughters. After Cain and Abel. And I know preachers saying right now, for real. For real? Yeah. For real.
I ain't see that.
No, you didn't see it. Adam had more than 2 sons, and one died and had another one. Adam had children after Seth. Had more sons, and Adam had daughters. But when you don't study like that, you don't look at it. If you don't look at it, you don't see it. You don't see it, you don't pay it any attention, and you find yourself into the fray of everything else and that level of knowledge. So what you do is you get more church knowledge and church law than you get biblical understanding. Good. So you can understand the church world,
right? But
you don't understand the Bible.
Right.
I'm talking to those who want to understand the Bible.
Right.
Again, I'm specifically talking to the young minister who is going to be a pastor, who is about to develop into this, who want to say, I need more time to really unfold this document that's called the Bible. I want this thing. I want to figure this thing out. Yes, you've been to school. Yes, you got that little degree from that Bible college all y'all go to. You got all this stuff. You got all those things. I forgot which one it's called. I'm not being I'm not being bad, y'all. I'm being real. I'm not being mean.
Okay.
I'm being nice.
Thanks.
You got the degree from that college that all y'all got that one.
You
I
got
forgot
your
what
degree from the
there.
college.
Yeah. I know what it is, but I don't feel like talking about it right now because I got too many friends that have been there.
No worries.
And I want them to
Got it.
pass the appreciation. So.
Right,
so
from the college.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, you got all that stuff, and it's still not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because life is a journey.
Yes.
Knowledge never ends.
Mm.
After you get the paper, you still got to keep on searching, and the search lets you know who you really are, because it's the glory of God to conceal it, but the honor of a king, royalty, to search out the matter. Yeah. So if you want to know if you're royal or not. Ask yourself the question, how many questions do you ask?
Yeah.
Because royalty always asks questions. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing. It's the honor of a king to search out the matter. To God be the glory. If you do that, 5 years is all you'll need.
Wow.
5 years. You'll develop a scheme and a plan and time, but you got time,
right?
And that's how
cushion.
And that's how I was able to. And that's how I was able to do what I did. That's how we were able to buy off our building.
Wow.
In less than 5 years.
Wow.
And that's how we were able to staff an entire ministry. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm 44 years old. Full time ministries. You know, for these guys, full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. People. Yeah. And we're developing more.
Yes.
Buying more property.
Absolutely.
Why? Because I took that earlier time to move forward.
Yes.
To make that move.
Yes.
So this is what you call a sacrifice.
For sure.
Can we get into it?
Please.
This is what we call a sacrifice. We all right with our time?
A little bit.
We got a little bit?
Yeah.
How much little bit? Little bit.
We
got 20 minutes?
Yeah, we should have
20 minutes. Good. That's all I need. So this is what you call a sacrifice. So what is sacrifice?
Okay.
Sacrificing is, essentially, this is what sacrificing is. Sacrificing is actually bargaining with your future. Making a bargain with your future. That's what you call sacrificing.
Okay.
Making a bargain with your future. Because what I'm saying is I'm stopping something right now, or I am putting something aside right now, or I am sacrificing something right now for a greater outcome, for something else to happen in the future. But you got to first know what you want in your future.
Yeah.
In order for it to be sacrificial. I was talking to a friend today, right before we came on here, and I told her that we really don't know what an offering is until it's sacrificial. Because the offering got to have some level of sacrifice to it.
Yes.
And if the Lord would ask you for a sacrifice, he would never require something from you that you are already doing.
Good.
So I told her the Lord would never require me to come to church Sunday morning. Coming to church on a Sunday morning is not a requirement.
Right. It wouldn't be a sacrifice.
You want to know why? Because it's been in my blood.
Yeah.
Probably for 100 years.
Right.
I'm only 44 years old.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for generations.
It's easy almost. It's like it's not.
So what does it? So when an offering is not sacrificial, what is it?
When an offering is not sacrificial, nothing. I mean, it's
when
something,
an offering
but it's
is not sacrificial, it's law.
Oh, okay.
A non-sacrificial offering is the law.
Okay.
I'm doing it because I'm used to doing it. I'm doing it because of tradition. I'm doing it because it's passed down. It's not even a sacrifice anymore. It's just something that we do. A demand. A command. But it's not sacrificial.
Okay.
It's not sacrificial. So if you want an offering to be sacrificial, or you want God to, if God requires an offering of us, somewhere in the offering, there must be something sacrificial. We are offering God something that's not sacrificial.
Good. Understand.
You're going to praise God anyway. That's not sacrificial. It's really not an offering. Because it's not sacrificial. You're going to dance in church anyway. In fact, you only coming to dance. For some people, you know what I'm saying? Your praises is not a sacrificial offering. You're going to, as soon as you hit the track, you're on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
For you, Bible study would be your sacrifice.
Right.
Because you go to sleep doing it. You get what I'm saying? That's out of your comfort. Yeah. You got it. You're taking the words out of my mouth. It's out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
That's the sacrifice. So when God requires something of us, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the offering?
Right.
Without a sacrifice, somewhere in the middle of it, somewhere connected to it.
Okay.
What is it? Go for it.
I was going to ask a question.
Go ahead.
So where in that portion is it that so I guess when the sacrifice is not offered, or it's not like when someone is not giving something of value, right? So they're not giving this. When is it that, because I don't know, I feel like at a certain point God puts certain things in our situation almost to not force us, but to push us. To push us. Like, so with when Abraham, right, when he sacrificed. So when he did that, it was almost like he had to give him that push, right?
Yes.
So when is that? So basically, we should be avoiding that push. Like,
no, you don't have to avoid it.
I mean, we should be doing it willingly with the sacrifice.
Yes. So here it is.
Before that has to be to that point, to a certain extent.
Help me out. Help me understand. I don't understand what you're saying.
Like, we should. I mean, I'm
okay.
asking.
You're saying should we be willingly sacrificing?
Right. So
before we get to the point where we are forced to sacrifice.
Yes.
That is a good question. Okay. So let's deal with this one. Whenever you're dealing with a sacrifice, we are made up. Let's add the natural and the spiritual. We are made up of 70% water. All of us. We made up 70% water. Let's be honest with you, like 72% water.
Okay.
Right? Water always move at the place of its least resistance. That's why life keeps getting easier, everybody. That's why, you get what I'm saying? That's why years ago you had a hammer that was 20 pounds, and today you had a nail gun that my daughter can build a house with a nail gun. Pop. And guess what? In another 20 years, it's going to you get it lighter than that. The TV was big as a house. Now the TV is in the palm of your hand. Because we are made up of 72% water. That means that we always move to the place of the least resistance. Man don't want to work hard. We wasn't designed to do that. We was made in the garden. The garden. No, Adam was not giving bricks to bust with a hammer in his hand.
Yeah.
God knew what he was doing. Gave him a garden. Didn't tell him to pluck from the trees. He did not tell him to toil till after he fell. In fact, you don't read the word bread until the 3rd chapter of Genesis. And he said, now you're going to eat bread. But bread is not written in chapter 1 or chapter 2 when they talk about eating.
Right.
It is not until the fall.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to struggle. And then the word bread comes into play. Serious talk.
Teach.
So now you're dealing, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were not designed for this.
Okay.
We are not made for this. This is not it. But because of what happened in life, because of, and if I want to go spiritual, you can go spiritual. I want to be both spiritual and natural in my teaching when I'm teaching this. When I'm talking about this, when I'm talking about being sacrificial, because I don't want to lose a certain demographic. I don't want to lose a certain demographic. But being sacrificial, willingly sacrificing something. You only willingly sacrifice something if you know the potential outcome.
Okay.
You only have to be forced to sacrifice when you don't know the outcome. But when you know the outcome, AKA, I know what'll happen to me if I hit the gym. If I hit the gym, I know what'll happen.
Yeah.
So guess what you do? You sacrifice that time. You get in that gym every day, all day, half a day, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
That's a sacrifice. Because I got to get up a little bit earlier and lay down a little bit later.
Right.
I got to, you know.
I'm pushing myself
that's all out of my comfort zone. That's all the sacrifice is, really. That's what you're doing, right? Because I know what I want to look like. Now, what happens is, the reason why people go to the gym in January and by February and March they done, it's because they don't see the immediate results.
Right, exactly. They don't stay with the.
They don't see the results from me. So when I look, and so every time you go to the gym, you got this real big mirror, like for real, like that's just y'all don't know the oxymoronic view it is. You go into the gym and they got a mirror.
Yeah.
a mirror. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Big ones.
Big mirrors. So you sweating like a pig
still
in
look the
Georgia.
same.
And you 3 weeks. Like this ain't working. What is going on?
Down with this.
Yeah, thank you. You don't know that. You don't know. You don't
know what's.
Thank you. You don't understand what it takes to get there. So therefore, you don't sacrifice. That same thing. Same thing I was telling about living that simple lifestyle. It's a sacrifice because I can't afford to live. I can do this and do that. You know, but I'm doing this because the result is by the time I'm 35, by the time I'm 33, 40 years old, I have a level of knowledge of Scripture.
Right.
That will able me to contend with anybody that I come in contact with. But that demands some sacrifice.
Okay.
That's what it is. So sacrificing simply bargaining with your future.
Okay.
That's it.
Got it.
That's why. So should you willingly sacrifice if you know? Jesus said, if any man come to me, let him, allow him. Take up his cross every day and follow me. Pick up the heaviest thing around you and follow me. Let him. The word let is allow. Let him. If any man come after me, let him take up his cross. Pause. He was talking to the disciples. So that's the caveat. The caveat is he wasn't talking about everybody. He was talking about those who are disciplined and those who say, hey, we want to roll with you. Any man come after me, let him deny himself. Denying himself ain't the only part. Now, after you deny yourself, pick up the heaviest thing around you and follow me. Go for it.
So you don't think that the average person is aware or knows what is almost required of them of the sacrifice?
Not in the faith.
Not in the faith.
Not within the faith.
What do you mean? Not within the faith?
Within the Christian faith.
You don't think that they know?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't think they know.
Okay.
I think the Lord will reveal it.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like,
but no.
like they would.
I
don't. You don't? Even like with Cain and Abel. And see,
Hmm?
I shouldn't even put this up because I need to look at it some more.
Yeah, you need to look at it some more.
I'm looking at some more. I'm gonna talk about next week.
Okay, all right then.
Because I'm not.
Okay, I got it. But you get what I'm saying? With the sacrifice. I don't know how many people really know that. And I think they get sacrifices confused with, and I think a lot of young people, and I'm talking about young people now, and our people now, and again, I have to be both celebratory and I have to give some, I have to give criticisms and or critique rather. I use the word critique other than criticize, and I criticize myself too. So anyway, you know what I think young people think sacrificing is?
What?
Hard living, not getting the things they want in life. They just call it I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm struggling. I can't get this. I can't do that.
Right.
I can't do it. And they get that, and they say, well, that's that's being sacrificial, or they're sacrificing, or they're struggling. Right? They look at that part. You know what I mean? No. You just.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, that's what they use. So they use that. So they find anything in life that's bothering them, and then they are tied being sacrificial. They tie Judas to it.
Right.
They are tied a cross to it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They tie all those things. They connect all those things to the struggles in their life. When truth be told, some of the struggles in their life is simply because they just don't have good social skills. Let's be honest with you. A lot of people just don't have good social. You don't have you just don't know how to communicate. For some people, you do know one I'm sorry will solve a lot of stuff.
I agree for sure.
But you just can't apologize because you're still trying to prove how right you are. For some people, rest will do it. No, just sit down.
Yeah.
For some people, standing up. So now I see people who have poor social skills in the church and in the world. That's why they got all these killings. Because they just don't know how to talk they don't know how to handle they don't know how to handle themselves socially. Get upset when a young lady say, I don't want your number. Whole attitude. And kill people.
Kill her.
Kill her. Hey, like, nah, like, I got a husband. What's his name? Put him on the phone.
Exactly.
Put him on the phone. I don't believe you.
Where your ring?
Where your ring? Like, put him on the phone. He let you out here by yourself. Like, hey, get the story, my brother. He just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Sister's the same way.
A lot. Yeah.
Same way, sis. Same way. You're just not the hottest thing out here. He's just not interested.
Yeah.
But when one man says you're no good, that doesn't mean that you have to throw yourself.
Right. Right.
It doesn't mean you're ugly. Again, poor social skills.
Right.
that guy didn't find you attractive. That doesn't mean that you got to wear more makeup tomorrow.
No.
That guy didn't find you attractive. That does not mean you got to buy shoes and put that pinky toe in that shit.
You just don't know how to deal with rejection.
You see what I'm saying?
Issue, yeah.
So you got those issues, and they'll mess around and call that,
oh, yeah.
I'm going through.
I guess my thing is when people have to kind of rationalize the sacrifice. Like, I can't give to this cause because, of course it's a sacrifice, right? But it will put me in the negative.
Yeah.
But I will give to this cause, even if it'll put me in the negative, but it doesn't necessarily benefit the church. Like I'm not saying people have to choose between the church and between a bill. Like I'm not, but I'm saying like if I'm going to see Beyonce or if I'm going to pay my tithes this week, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying like the rationalization of the priority, I guess the priority in where I'm sacrificing is different for different situations.
It's different.
That makes sense.
It's different for every person.
It's different for sure. But I'm saying like, I can almost rationalize with this and justify why I'm going to give to this. I would never give to this. But and this. The thing that we only got a couple minutes.
Okay, so the reason why they can justify giving to one and giving the other, in my opinion, one of the reasons why is because of the immediate gratification. One can offer immediate gratification. So when you said Beyonce, I get immediate gratification. When you say church, I might not get nothing for a year or two from this offering. That's just how it works. It looks like the Rev getting it, but I'm not. You get what I'm saying? So it just looks like that, like the church getting it, but I'm not getting nothing out of this. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So, but Beyonce, going to the concert, I can really get some things. I can do some things. I can get a piece of enjoyment. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when people don't do that, it's because they don't understand they don't understand what it means to deny the immediate gratifications of life. And to walk away from that. And that's where we are when it comes to sacrifice. Okay. So that's the requirement right there. Excellent. And every sacrificial demand, requirement helps you to understand where you are in God because it makes you offer something different. Wow. Good. So your offering measures your faith.
Beautiful.
Act as if your offering measures your faith. So my question is not your money. I'm talking about this money now. Money's included. Right. But what are y'all offering?
What are you offering?
And somewhere in that offering, are you being sacrificial?
Wow.
So now God could require, you could be offering God something he doesn't require you. You hear what I said?
Yeah.
You could be offering God something he does not require of you.
Which means nothing.
And it becomes fruitless. Yeah. The offering becomes fruitless.
It becomes self-absorbed. It's just for you. It's for you. It has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, I mean, you think it has something to do with him, for him.
You think it do, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I guess. So that's what it is. So,
okay.
Yeah. So if y'all want to do that, that's what y'all do. If you want to study, I can.
Maybe we can. I don't know if we can list these on the site, or you want to.
Oh, you can listen to for the young man who's trying to. Yeah. Young woman who's trying to, And really, you can just and to summarize it, these are not PowerPoints either. By the way, I wouldn't consider that. I wouldn't consider doing A, B, C. I wouldn't consider that. But I am saying,
it's a great plan.
You can generalize this and says, what am I doing to sort of simplify my life so that I can put more time into the sacred act of studying and being better for the people. So I'll be at a place where I can, do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
To God be glory. All right, that's it. Be good? Because our time is our time, right?
This is our time.
Well, our time. See, the time is the time on on Facebook. We can keep on going. So if we cut off this one, y'all just got to pick up tomorrow, or I'll go on my live. I'll just go live from my phone. Okay. So if this time goes up, I just go live from my phone. Okay. Well, so we're gonna. How long we been on? How long we been on so far?
Hour 24.
An hour and 24 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. So we're gonna try to go another 6-7 minutes. We gonna wrap it up.
I just don't want this to be disconnected. So
that's going to disconnect. Let it disconnect. Yo, you don't want to disconnect. You want it to be like you want.
I want to because I don't know what happens at the end. Like I don't know if it because you have to kind of it might get lost.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'd rather log off of here.
Okay, so close it and then let it log off. You can't do that. You can't do the ending like you can't do what you do all the production stuff
do that.
and then let it play off, or you just rather close it off.
No, I can do that, but we're gonna still be on here with that. And that's
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So listen, everybody that is, if you're viewing and watching us on Facebook, we are going to have the rest of this episode available on YouTube. So I'm going to sign off here, but we're going to continue. Also, if you want to continue to listen, this will be available on Apple and Spotify. This is your spiritual podcast station, and we just brought you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. We are the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. We love you, and thank you for loving us. Make sure you continue to tune in on Apple and Spotify for the rest of this podcast.
If y'all watching, go right on my page. I'm on my live right now.
Go to the live right now.
I'm on my page right now. Pastor Anthony Fliggins.